Hi and welcome everyone. I am Friar Tuck. This is my Epoch, and from time to time what I like to do is I like to show all of my gear, because some of you guys ask me, well, what gear are you using? And I know that a lot of people watch gear review videos because they're always trying to find the bang for their buck, something that's going to be economical but still be good quality and things like that. So what I've recently purchased is I purchased a hammock through Nightcat. I also purchased an Anchor power block. I purchased a converter. I've got myself a new pillow. I've got myself a new blanket. This is the once a year where I go through and I replace a lot of my gear. And so this year, because I'm doing better on YouTube and a lot of other things, I have gotten to the point where I can actually upgrade my gear. Instead of going for the cheapo Walmart stuff, I'm actually upgrading to something that's a little bit more quality. I'm spending a little bit more money on it, but it is what it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you my setup, and you're gonna sit there and watch this whole process. And at the end of it, you decide if you like it. If you do, you can get the product link down in the description. If you have questions, please ask them down in the comments. But let's go ahead and get into this. And okay, so a lot of you know that I just purchased the hammock from Amazon, the Nightcat 3-in-1 tent hammock. And before that, I had one of the Walmart hammocks that was a lot different than this one. And so I want to talk about the pros, the cons, what makes it good. If there are certain things that if you don't like, you probably shouldn't get it. If you are used to traditional hammock, this is going to be a little bit untraditional as far as what I'm used to with hammocks and other people that I've seen with their hammock setups. So let's go ahead and talk about the pros and the cons. Now, as you saw when I first started it, it was sitting up way high, and now I'm basically maybe 9 to 12 inches off of the ground after it being like chest high. Okay, so unlike your other hammocks that are tense and you don't have to do stretching out, this actually expands with you. And I think a lot of it has to do with the way in which they set up the sleep system. Now, your traditional sleep system, what you're going to use is an underquilt, and that works as like a sleeping bag. But the way that this is set up is that you actually have a little sleeve here for a sleeping pad. So you can do an inflatable sleeping pad. Now, on something like this, I would probably do an inflatable sleeping pad for the air, but you might have some issues with the ground cover if you're not in good areas like that have good ground, like you've got sticks and rocks and other stuff, and it's really bad. Now, you may get a hole in your sleeping pad if you've got an inflatable one, but you could also do something like a foam sleeping pad as well, especially for the winter. So when it comes to this, my underquilt, which it takes up a good amount of space within my bag, is no longer needed because this hammock, with the way that it's set up, it's actually 54 inches wide. Now, it has a little reservoir in which I sleep in, and then it's kind of got side panels. Plus, it's also got a couple of the store pouches that come with it. But this actually is not really set up for a traditional underquilt the way you would normally think. Or if you were to do something like that, you're going to have to really look at it and be creative in how you make sure that you make it work so that it gets fully around you, because unlike with the Walmart hammock where I drop in the center and it just kind of engulfs around me, this, because of how wide it is, unless you are right exactly and get it set up within that gully, you may not actually get to use the underquilt, which is why you want to be able to use something like a sleeping pad. Okay, so this sleep system is a little bit different. If you're thinking about getting a Nightcat 3-in-1 tent hammock, these are some things that you got to look about. Now, what is it that I really like about this? Would I buy it again and stuff like that? What really makes me like this more than anything is when I slept in it last night. One, I got the best night's sleep that I've had in a long time in a hammock. Two, I like the space in it, especially with the way that it's set up with the bars around, so that you actually have some openings so you don't feel so claustrophobic. With the Walmart hammock, your walls, basically you just put a stick there as like a T intersection, and then just kind of pull it up, and it would still enclose in on you, and so therefore you didn't have any real space, and it was, you know, you were partially wrapped up in your bug net. Whereas with this bug net, because it's got bars, and that's also what's used for the cone-shaped ring tarp. You know, that is the whole skeleton infrastructure, which is also what allows it to be used as a hammock. Okay, so this thing cost me $120 on Amazon plus shipping, and so if you're wanting something like this, the product is going to be down in the description as part of one of my affiliate links. Do I like it? Yes, I like it. I like the space. I like the versatility. Now, when it comes to coming across a campsite and there's no place to be able to pinch my hammock, I can lay it down on the ground, and now I have a tent so that I can still get away from the bugs. Because like if I go down south, or if I, you know, in the heat of the summer, there's always a lot of mosquitoes. And so I want to be able to have a place to be able to get in and get away from the mosquitoes. And with a traditional hammock, you don't get that. With this 3-in-1 hammock, yeah, there are some things that you're going to have to get used to as part of the way that you get it set up. Like, you're going to really have to make sure that it's tense. It's not, the straps aren't going to be as high as what you're used to. Or if you do have high straps, you know, you need to make sure that you can get into it. Because the thing is, you start up here and end up down here. Okay, and that's a big thing to really think about. So what I'm going to do is show you guys some footage of what it looks like when I set this thing up, and so on and so forth. Another thing I like about it as well is it's kind of like a swing. You know, this is the last thing I'm going to say about this, but I also like the fact it's kind of like a swing. So now I have a back and I can lean back. Like, if I have somebody that's with me, like, you know, I got a friend coming over, or I got a female friend that's coming over, I can scoot over. There's enough room for two of us to sit here in this opening and, you know, lean back in it and have a conversation, and kind of use it like a couch instead of having to sit on the hard ground. So as long as you keep the weight under 420 pounds, and the straps are rated to 600 pounds, but keep it under 420 pounds, you'll be good. Okay, so this is what I have to say about it. You know how to help the channel. Become a subscriber, join one of my memberships, and thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video. Enjoy the bonus footage of me setting this up. Now, what I will tell you is that this is what it comes in. Okay, so this has this is a hammock. It's got the necessary stakes. It's also got a rainfly, bug net. It's got everything that I need. So whether I'm in the south and I need the bug net, or whether it's a rainy day, everything I need is in here. Now, this is about the size of a tent. Since I just pulled this out of the packaging, this is probably not going to be the way it goes in my pack. Okay, so therefore it zips out. I have not seen this either, so you're getting to see this for the first time, just like me. Okay, so it comes with a manual. Comes with a manual, and it definitely gives you some stuff. We'll see if we actually need it, but let's see what we got here. We have got, oh wow, okay, so compared to the Walmart hammock, okay, the material is much softer. It's much nicer. It's much nicer. You can still smell it. Just came off the press. I'm looking forward to this. Okay, so it's got two carabiners. So this actually will, the hammock itself will support up to 420 pounds, and the straps will support up to 600 pounds. But I like these clamps. It's a lot better, because what happens when it gets wet out here is that these things will end up rusting. And so, like with the traditional carabiners that you get, you start having to manually pull them in and out. That's what I had to do with my Walmart one after about a month with it start raining. So this is, I could say already, now this is supposed to be about a 10-foot hammock. So let's see what the rest of this is. So this is replacing my tarp. This is the rainfly. So we're going to be setting up the rainfly tonight as well, because it's supposed to be raining for the next week. And so this would be a great time to test it out, make sure that everything goes great. So the rainfly here, we'll see how this goes up. I've never had a hammock with the rainfly. I generally have to do a tarp. And then, of course, you've got your poles. Now these poles, So with the Walmart one, what you do is you got a stick that comes in between, and then you just kind of pulley system it up, and it raises. These are supposed to have poles so that it raises on its own, and you don't have to do any additional tying. And plus, this also sets it up. These poles is what makes it able to be used as a tent as well. Okay, so here's one strap. Here are a couple of the tent spikes. Now, I will tell you on hard ground, these things will, oh, it doesn't even put the little thing around it. Oh, okay, on hard ground, these things will bend. I've already bent, like my other ones that I had, I've already bent them here because the ground just gets so hard so quick. Now, if you're in clay or something like that, but here's the 2 tent straps, okay? So this took me about a half hour to set up, as you see how high it's sitting off the ground. Okay, I haven't even put my underquilt on it yet. But as you see, this is probably for rain resistant, this right here. It almost looks like I'm trying to figure out what the logic is in this, as far as what they've got going on. I have to read the instructions more. But the one thing that, that I'm noticing about this, yeah, it sits high, but you kind of tilt it, and then when you get in, if you look, I go from being like, I'm so close to the ground now because of how much stretch this has. But if you're looking for room, this has definitely got room. Although there's going to be some things I'm going to have to figure out and adjust when I go through with it. But as far as space goes, this thing would be a better tent than it would be than it is a hammock. I don't like how much it stretches out, because like that's been the hardest part about getting this whole thing adjusted.